All right, folks, read along with me here. Frightened Christians lose battle over U.S. mega mosque. World News Daily, not a satire site. All right. In the end, the Iraqi Christians of Sterling Heights, Michigan, said they felt abandoned and left vulnerable by their government. It didn't matter that they had escaped genocide in the Middle East. It didn't matter that they had 180 people at the city council meeting Tuesday to voice their concerns about a large mosque being proposed in the middle of their neighborhood. Folks, by now you've seen the skit on Twitter where Borat tells a bunch of people that there's going to be a mega mosque built in their city. Wow, how prophetic is this, right? Because it actually happened. All right. It didn't matter, they say, that Donald Trump is their new president or that Jeff Sessions is the new attorney general. They lost and the Muslims won. The city on Tuesday night agreed to a settlement with a Muslim group that wants to build a mega mosque on 15 Mile at Mountain Road in the heart of a residential area filled with Christians who escaped Muslim prosecution in Iraq. The nearly 200 people who packed City Hall in protest of the mosque were limited by Mayor Michael C. Taylor to 2 minutes of speaking time. There were people crying, complaining about not being given enough time to speak, said Naren Anwiya, spokeswoman for the approximately 50,000 Chaldeans and Assyrians living in the area. How many people have heard of an Assyrian Christian? Yeah, not too many of you met one of them, I bet. Why? Because they're persecuted by Islam. The mayor was literally acting like a dictator, wouldn't let people finish their statements, she told WND. As soon as they said something about the persecution their family experienced from Muslims in Iraq, he would shut them down. Anwiya said her own great-grandfather was crucified by Muslims in Iraq because he refused to remove the large gold cross he wore around his neck. Her family immigrated to the U.S. in 1989 when she was 6 years old. Sensitivity training. This is rich. Isn't this fucking rich? Listen to this. Sensitivity training for people that were butchered by Islam. According to the settlement deal, the city of Sterling Heights will grant the American Islamic Community Center a permit to build a 20,800 square foot mosque and will send city employees to classes teaching them how not to discriminate against Muslims in the future. The City Planning Commission has denied the mosque permit in September 2015, but nearly a year later, the mosque sued the city claiming discrimination. In December 2016, the U.S. Department of Justice joined in with a similar suit, claiming the city violated the Religious Land Use and Institutional Persons Act, or RLUIPA. Holy shit, I didn't even know that shit was passed. Is this another Obama surprise? RLUIPA was passed in Congress in 2000 to discourage cities and towns from discriminating against houses of worship in zoning decisions. But the law was increasingly used under the Obama administration to bully local governments into accepting controversial mosque projects. So yeah, it was an Obama setup. Totally. Now listen, these are Christians that had literally been crucified on crosses by Muslims. And the Muslim Commission wants to build a mosque right in the midst of their community. Well, you know that's fucking that's aggressive. That's the only way to look at it. The AICC mosque is made up of Shiite Muslims, predominantly from Yemen, Iran, and Iraq. The mosque is currently headquartered in neighboring Madison Heights. Residents who attended the meeting said it was tightly controlled by Mayor Taylor. At one point, Taylor cleared the chamber of all people opposed to the mosque, ordering 2 police officers to escort them out. The council then voted unanimously to approve the federal government's consent order, accusing the city of being discriminatory against Muslims. The Chaldeans and others opposed to the mosque were hopeful up until the last minute that new Attorney General Jeff Sessions would step in and dismiss the DOJ lawsuit against the city. That never happened. Let me say that again. That never happened. Sessions has only been seated less than 2 weeks, and the few attorneys he had been able to hire would have likely not been up to speed on the case, legal analysts told WND. So what? He never did anything. He never even tried. Barbara McQuade, the U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Michigan, oh God, and an Obama appointee, led the investigation into the city's handling of the mosque project, and she remains in her post under Trump. She remains in her post under Trump. She praised the settlement at a news conference Wednesday morning, saying it made her very proud. Oh, I'm sure it did. Yeah, we have a word for that. It's called treason. Anyway. Barbara McQuade, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan and Obama appointee, led the investigation into the city's handling of the mosque project. And Trump left her in place. Isn't that nice? I grew up in Sterling Heights and very proud to announce this settlement, McQuade said of the DOJ lawsuit. Inclusion cannot mean that some groups are welcome and others are not. Oh, really? So when Islam says you can't build a church next to their mosque, then what are you going to say, lady? Oh, it'll be okay then. Guaranteed. I guarantee it'll be okay then. See, you can't build. How many of you know you ain't allowed to build a church anywhere near a mosque? How many of you know that? Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you try to build a church next to a mosque, they'll fucking go apeshit on your ass. They will. Now here's the part of the article that gets rich. You ready for this? Familiar with genocide. And we said the Iraqi Christians are a tight-knit community with a history of escaping genocide at the hands of Muslims in the Middle East, and the city should have listened to their concerns. They didn't even want to discuss it. Their minds were already made up. Mayor Taylor really didn't even want to hear the people out, she said. Whenever someone voiced concerns about future persecution, he cut them off and called them out of order. She said her people are concerned the Shiite mosque is being funded by Iran. Well, duh. Why would you build a mosque when you don't have a large population of Shiites in Sterling Heights? They wanted to bring in people from other areas, Anwia said. You're talking about a city that doesn't blink at spending $1 million on a playground, but they don't want to spend $350,000 on defending this lawsuit. There were complaints, tears, and shouts of betrayal as the citizens were ushered out of the meeting chamber. The city never intended to fight. The Assistant Deputy Attorney General Tom Wheeler, one of the few DOJ's attorneys appointed by Trump, was involved in the settlement deal, but it's not known to what extent. The DOJ did not return calls and emails from WMD seeking comment. Wheeler was appointed January 21st, at which point the settlement was already into the advanced stages of a negotiation. Typically, these types of cases go into a protracted back-and-forth negotiation, said an attorney familiar with RLUIPA cases on a national level. I don't think the city ever really intended to fight this. They just went immediately into the settlement mode after the DOJ filed suit, said attorney Karen Lugo, author of the new book Mosques in America. The settlement was likely well developed by the time Mr. Wheeler was appointed, and it's basically a done deal. Lugo watched a live stream video of the meeting and said it appeared the mayor had little patience for citizens concerned about traffic, parking, noise, and other issues. This was kind of stunning. It wasn't a hearing. It was a sham. It was clear from the beginning that the attorney's presentation that this was just going to be a matter of enduring everybody's 2 minutes, she said. Only one city councilman spoke, giving a lengthy monologue about Thomas Jefferson. Lugo said local residents have a right to express their concerns, especially when the apparently insurance-driven settlement overrode their plan commission. The council voted to overturn that without considering some very critical concerns presented by the Planning Commission. I think that's outrageous. Okay, so it looks like Borat's little skit about building a mega mosque in the area actually came true, didn't it? Yeah, it actually came true. Holy shit. That's creepy. That's creepy. I don't know what to tell you on this other than look out. That Saudi money's really good. You know, that Saudi money's powerful, buddy. You can't beat that. They got sued twice. Did you notice that it was the government itself that jumped in on the side of the Muslims while Trump was president? I hear crickets chirping. I hear crickets chirping. The Department of Justice sided with the Muslims. Well, Trump wouldn't side with the Muslims, but, well, he sure the fuck did, didn't he? And these were Christians that were literally crucified on crosses in the Middle East. Literally crucified on crosses in the Middle East. And Trump administration, Department of Justice, sided with the Muslims who are clearly doing this as a means of intimidation. Clearly. There's no question it's intimidation. You heard what the lady said. There are no Shiite Muslims in their community. They're all Christians that fled persecution from the Middle East. So what's this all about? It's about intimidation, and it's about allowing Islam to take over the United States while Trump is still in office. I've been warning you. Y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. Now, the funny thing about this news article is that it was in February of 2017. Yeah, look at the date. Look at the date. February 23rd, 2017 at 8:37 p.m. Yeah. Saudi money talks and bullshit walks, right? I mean, isn't that right? You read it for yourself. I just read it to you. The Department of Justice under the Trump administration sided with the Muslims to literally take over a Christian community that was oppressed by Islam when they were over in the Middle East. Your buddy Trump did that. DOJ sided with Islam. Now, is Islam a religion? No. Islam is not a religion. Well, Von, how can you say that? How can you say that Islam is not a religion? Very easily. Islam, a true religion is about introspection. A true religion is about the inner self and about, correcting your inner self to be in line with God and to be at peace with others. Is Islam at peace with anyone? Fuck no. They're not only killing non-Muslims, they're killing other Muslims.